All right, guys, did the Bring a Trailer bubble burst and we missed it? Or is it just getting bigger, and is it festering, and is it just getting bloated? Or should we be like hiding our eyes? Is there going to be like, Budda and a biscuit egg? Bid Nerds is your YouTube car game show. Welcome, everyone. You guys don't know about the egg breakfast thing that Budda had to deal with. We'll talk about that on another show. This is Bid Nerds. The bidding starts right now. My name is John Polnick. We're coming to you live from the Container Park in downtown Las Vegas, as well as my partner, Michael Deeb, way on the far side of the screen there in San Francisco. And who's that in the middle right there, Michael Deeb?
Budda! Thank you so much, Budda, for joining us as third nerd. Didn't have enough time to change his underwear and get to the studio, so he is live in the home office in Vegas. How are you, my friend? What's going on, Mike Myers?
I'm fantastic. Yeah, it was spent today out at the track in Pahrump. It's just the perfect weather here in Vegas. So if there's any, I think any legitimate excuse to miss Cars and Cafe, that's going to the racetrack. Yeah.
JP,
how was y'all Sunday morning?
JP, on the blue moon that there's a track day when you're trying to do Cars and Cafe, do you feel the difference? Is it light?
No, it's never light. It's just that certain part of the crew doesn't wind up showing up, but there's always other people to take their place. That's for sure. Yeah. Budda, I had some Hippie Sips for you in the studio. That's why I invited you. We got a whole new case, and we're excited about it. All right, guys, welcome to the show, everyone. Welcome to the Nerd Herd, everyone who is watching live tonight. We really appreciate you guys. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, like, and notification button. We usually get right to the show, but tonight I am going to do the self-serving plug. I mean, come on, it's Christmas time, and we are having a special sale on our merch site. That is true. We are having a BOGO. That's right. Everything on the merch site, the t-shirts, the hats. We got 3 different types of hats. We got dad hats. We got Frato brims. We got nerd hats. We got all kinds. We got truckers. We've got flasks. All kinds of fun stuff in the merch section. The link is in the description below. All the prices are listed, but doesn't say BOGO. It won't say BOGO until you actually go to check out. So it's buy one, get one of equal and lesser values. That means you could get a shirt and you could get a hat. Or maybe the other way around, because I think the hats are more expensive. Or you could get 2 different hats. You don't have to get the exact same thing. But all that stuff is buy one, get one. And the classic Durfascination posters, we still have some of these left. These are limited edition posters. We have them in a bunch of different sizes, and some of them are signed by the original artist, Israel Hernandez. So they're all numbered, and they're all signed. And these are 40% off, guys. These things look great in your house. So if you are looking for a gift for that special someone, it's great. BOGOs are great because you can get one for you and one something for someone else, so you can pretend like you're Christmas shopping for someone else, but you actually get something for you. Or you can just, you got a holiday party coming up, get one of these Durfascination posters and make your place look great, right? Yeah, exactly.
And I think you're short selling it by just calling them posters. I mean, those are like gallery quality, thick paper,
lithographs.
I mean, it is.
They're lithographs. Yeah, they're really nice stock, and they're numbered. Are they numbered, or
they are numbered? Yeah, you're right, guys. They are museum quality printing done by our friends Alex up in Portland. They're fantastic.
Do you have any more of those massive decal ones left, or are those all gone?
Those are gone, but Alex said he can still do those. So if you want one of those 7-foot ones,
I'm moving into a new studio in January, and I think I need one on the wall behind me. So let's talk about
what I'm getting. Let's talk about
Christmas.
Michael D for Christmas here. All right, there it is, guys. All right, well, thanks for letting us plug. But seriously, guys, go on there. It's buy one, get one. If you've been holding off waiting to get yourself some Bid Nerd swag, please do so tonight. And then, while you're in there, go check out the Air and Water design page. She has amazing stuff in there. All kinds of jewelry, not just the bracelets that match the watches, but she also has stuff for women, necklaces, earrings, all kinds of stuff that she's made. It's all beautiful. It's all high quality. It's all made right here in America. No Chinese crap, none of that stuff. This is all high quality stuff.
And Does she still have a few watches that are on sale from our Smiths?
She does.
In Vegas?
I don't know if the
really cool
watches are on the site. That's a good question.
But you can call. But you can call and talk
she
to her.
has
Send a
she has
message.
2
She'll get back to you.
Panrays. Yeah, 2 Panrays from our friends at Our Smiths.
Beautiful.
That are just they're vintage Panrays. They're so gorgeous.
Reach out to her. Reach out to her about who you're shopping for, and she will help you. She is magic.
That is correct. Okay, guys, thanks for listening to the plug. All right, let's get to the cars. We always start out every episode by reconciling the predictions that we made on the last episode, because predictions is what we do. We analyze listings on Bring a Trailer, Cars and Bids, sometimes P-Car Markets, and other auction platforms. The first car on the list was, boy, this one was very entertaining. A lot of attention on this one. And a lot of attention for the nerds. This one may have raised our profile a little bit. Michael Deeb, what am I talking about?
JP, I picked this car just almost on a whim. You know, sometimes you catch a car and you're like, ooh, I like that. It was a purple 2002 Bentley Arnage T that also happened to be running no reserve on Cars and Bids. But we just don't see like professional photography like this that often on the listings that we see from Doug DeMiro's site. So this car caught my eye. I picked it. I threw it on there. Then JP really liked it. We had a lot of fun batting it back and forth about what this car could potentially do, because at the price that it was when we were reviewing it, JP, which happened to be $19,250, that was also right around the average that these cars tend to bring in the secondary market. This one, with tons of notoriety, having belonged personally to Nick Rochon, who is Doug DeMiro's partner on his podcast. This car had actually gotten a lot of press besides us just happy to catch it because of just the pure listing, and then doing a little review on it and all that. So it was poised, what I thought, JP, which was to just creep into that low to mid $20,000 range and then ultimately wind up setting a high watermark. But JP, upon deeper review of this car, you know, you had noted that Nick's had kind of a rough go of it with this car, and has wound up pouring quite a bit of money into it. So it'd be interesting to see what this car would hammer for, based on him just getting it a couple of years ago and having not actually spent a lot of time behind the wheel, because its car spent so much time with various mechanics getting a lot of braking things repaired. So JP, without further ado, the Bentley Arnage T tend to bring around $30,000 in the secondary market. Our car listed out of San Diego, California, because it's literally sitting in the Cars and Bids offices of Doug DeMiro, is showing 51,000 miles on the odometer on a clean California title. JP, when it was sitting at $19,250, I thought it would get a couple grand more. My bid, just $22,000. John, you actually took the over, despite being the one to catch all the conflict that Nick had gone through with the car, actually reading the listing or something. Your bid was still a little bit higher and surprised me at $25,000. I have a sneaky suspicion your desire to own a car like this may have colored your bid. Then we had Thomas Huddle, who joined us as third nerd from the East Coast of Canada, central to East, maybe not the East Coast, but the middle east side of Canada. I think he was in Toronto. He joined us as third nerd. JP, he was a great guest. Wonderful takes. Thomas chimed in, kind of splitting the difference between us, but much closer to you, JP. His bid at $23,750. I just want to remind our audience before I get Budda's bid, this car in 2002, basically 23 years ago, JP, was $230,000 at MSRP. So, Budda, while you were at the track, our friend Nick tried to sell his purple Bentley. What do you think happened on Doug DeMiro's site with a Doug DeMiro review and all the bullshit you could throw at a car with as far as like assets and social media and buzz? I mean, they did everything they could to bring attention to this listing, and we didn't get tipped on it. We just stumbled over it organically and then realized it was all of them behind it. Budda, what do you think of the grimace, the purple eater of Bentley Arnages? Where you at?
I did see last week's show. I think JP's take was great. Just how great, just in theory, this would be to drive around. And I think Doug's friend Nick bought this sort of trying to launch a YouTube channel. Sort of had this the premise was going to be how bad can it be, and Bentley asked him to hold their beer.
Hold my grape.
So I think that might have hurt it, even the promotion, just because it showed up in my algorithm, and I don't know who Nick was. So the troubles that he had with this. So I think that I think it would have hurt it. I don't know that it would have gotten much more. So, $20,000. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when we look at the result, we'll ask JP immediately, did he overexpose the car before he cashed out on it? And there might be an interesting answer there from my partner. Here's the deal.
What did he pay for it? Did y'all have that info?
He paid 18. He paid 18. Okay. And then he talked about the result. They actually, him and Doug and a handful of their friends do a live feed to watch the Hammer. It's like a Hammer watch party. JP and I have done that on numerous occasions. I wonder where they got the idea.
Where did they get that idea? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, there was literally no other bids. The 19250 that we reviewed it at a day or two later, this car hammered with no additional bids at no reserve for $19,250. JP, where it sold for 14 bids. So here's the deal. Lots to unpack, JP. I will try to run through this and give it back to you. So first of all, Nick is got a great sense of humor and very self-deprecating, a lot of levity. He understands where he's at. He confessed in his own YouTube video that he spent almost $19,000 on the car after buying it for 18. So when he sold it for $19,250, he basically rinsed 18 grand down the drain, which is heartbreak. JP, I'm sure you noticed that in the early part of that particular video, he actually spliced about 30, 40 seconds from the Bid Nerds podcast and took a couple of our quick takes to introduce his car. And then
am I allowed to say anything? Are you guys going to just talk all night on this stupid thing? Are you going to take all my takes? I was going to go ahead and say, look, shut the hell up. Look, this is what happened right here.
It was great.
There he was. Boom, he's talking about how big a bloodbath the poor guy took, and then all of a sudden what happens? It's Bid Nerds on his show. How did that happen? He clipped the part where yours truly, was talking about how much I wanted this car, because I really, really did, and I can't wait to get him on our show one of these days, sooner rather than later. We were hoping to have him on tonight.
Yeah, Lucas tried.
Yeah, but look, I need to, Nick, if you're watching, thank you. I can't wait to personally thank you, not for clipping our show and giving us exposure and talking about the Bid Nerds. We do appreciate that, so I do say thank you for that. But really, thank you for being so damn transparent, because it may not have worked out for you so much, but there is a possibility you can be too transparent as a seller, because his videos and his video series, which was great, was the thing that kept me from bidding on this car. I was ready to buy this thing. I probably would have spent more than it wound up going for. But every time I watched any of his content, it was just like, ooh, yeah, that feeling, that pit in your stomach, that heartburn of ownership of something like this that you get once you get it. It's like a boat. The greatest day of owning a boat is the day you get it and the day you get rid of it. I feel like a car like this is the same kind of thing. I really, really wanted to own this car. What did our intern say? Do you remember his quote, Deeb? Lucas, our intern, he mentioned in a thread after we were done, after the car closed, he asked, when we were talking about the exposure, right? A YouTube famous car is owning a YouTube car. Is YouTube kind of like the OnlyFans for cars? Is it like, marrying Bonnie Blue after she's banged literally 1,000 other guys? Do you really want to be that guy, the guy that's going, hey, look at my beautiful bride. Hey, everybody, look at my beautiful Arnage. And everyone's like, you're the guy that got the hot potato. Yeah. So again, thank you very much, Nick, for being so transparent. Guys, can you be too transparent as a seller? What say you, Deeb?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Yeah, here's the thing, JP. That's the question I want to pose to you. Can you be too transparent that he literally scared all the other bidders out of the room by disclosing too much? And I just wonder. And again, Nick's got what, like 13,000 subscribers, I think, if I'm remembering that correctly, on his YouTube channel. I mean, he's reaching people. It's an interesting take. I honestly would have thought that despite all of his transparency and disclosure, that somebody would still want to have the car. And I really thought this car was going to get into the 20s. I was shocked that he didn't get another bid. That kind of blew me away. And then just Nick, at the end, when he was summarizing his take, he goes, man, like, no regrets. I know I lost a bunch of money. I had to do it. If I didn't do it, I would have been bugging me. I got to get a Bentley. I got to get Bentley. Now I've been through it. I didn't do it. So he goes, despite what I assumed was going to happen and what the bid nerds thought, this is what it went. And so I love that he threw us in there as rationalization for his inspiration, which I thought was brilliant. So thank you, Nick, for the shout out. Sorry you took that one, more or less on the chin, but we're excited to have him on and see what he's up to next. And if you haven't seen it, go check out his channel and watch the whole thing. He's a great host.
Budda, do you think you can you be too transparent?
I think no, not because we're talking to the audience here of people that may go sell their cars on the auction platforms themselves. And generally speaking, no, this was an outlier. He had an audience built in, and he sort of made a whole series of movies about how huge of a mistake he had made. And I think that's what caught up. But in most cases, no, to be overly transparent. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's hard, right, when you're in the moment. And Nick, you made great content, and he's going to continue to make great content. I really like his channel, and that sincerity is what draws people to him. But I think
he's authentic.
Ultimately, you still got to remember that you're a storyteller. And I think it's easy to be an armchair quarterback, right, after the fact. But I think, but I know the way I would have approached this is the fact that he put $19,000 additional dollars into this car. That should have been a bigger part of the story, but instead it got kind of blown in the side. Instead, that $19,000 that he lost became kind of punchline. I'm dumb. Yeah, it's exactly a punchline. Look how stupid I am. When it should have been, here's all the additional value I put in the car. Having one of these is and can be terrible if you didn't buy it from some idiot like me who spent $20,000 on fixing it up, so you as the next guy don't have to. Bonnie Blue doesn't have an STD apparently in this case, so why not marry her? I think that he could have sold the value of everything that he put into it. That could have bumped it up, but instead it was all about the negatives. And at the end of the day, you got to remember, if you are trying to sell a car, you got to throw some positives in there. I don't know, what do you guys think? I really thought this was a great listing. It was fun to watch. Sorry he didn't make more money, but let us know what you guys think of the result on that Arnage. Should it have gotten more money? Hey guys, would it have made more money if it were on BAT? Should we have bought it and flipped it over there? Would it have gotten more money? I'd like to hear what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. Let's move on. What's the next car, Deeb?
All right, JP, we are going to circle back to the 1955 Ferrari 250 GT Europa that was essentially built for the Crown Prince of the Netherlands, which is very interesting. So, JP, this was a really, really special car. So despite the 250 Europa being built to this tune of like 22 or 23 examples, and then later the GTs built in the numbers of like 42 or 43 examples, this aluminum-bodied car that basically has a lot of competition parts winds up being one of two, and the first of those two, as it was a bespoke car built for a royal family of a country in Europe. So this winds up being an extraordinarily special car. It's interesting because Lucas was citing somebody in the comments. You and I really, really banged on this guy, Steve Stereo, who claims to be the one that imported this car from Europe to the United States. He's gone through the car, and now he's representing it through his business, and decided to list it as a premium listing here on Bring a Trailer. And look, we do see some 250 Ferraris come to this channel, BAT, and some of them do sell for retail numbers, but I do not remember such a specialized bespoke car such as this coming to market. And so one of the first things that you and I did was jump down Steve's throat for doing kind of a half-assed job with the listing. And I bring that up only to presence a comment that Lucas had found in the comments, and I can't remember if it was on our show or in the presentation of the listing, but a guy named Thomas said something to the effect of, hey man, he totally gets why a guy with a car that is this unique wouldn't bother spending an arm and a leg on assets. The car essentially is so rare and so valuable that it, quote unquote, speaks for itself. You know what it is. If you want it, come and get it. Pick up the phone and call me or bid on it here on the channel. And essentially that's kind of what we saw happen. I mean, obviously he didn't spend any money. JP noticed that the photographer was taking pictures with his cell phone. You could see his reflection in the black paint. Sitting here on the showroom floor, I still think a car like this, you have to create the romance. Even a car like this, with all of its provenance, that provenance is a story, and that story is this story is barely being sold. Like a bookstore reading. I don't know. I still take issue with this half-assed effort. I feel like Steve's a pro and he knows better, and maybe Thomas is right about his take and that attitude, but I will say look at the result and then listen to my friend JP, who knows how to tell stories, and those stories are winning stories. That's what you need here. Even a car like this needs help, needs support, needs buzz, needs people talking about it. It would be very, very easy to skip over this listing and not notice what it is. And maybe that guy doesn't care, but by that rationale, JP, why didn't this go to Somo? You know what I mean? So here we go. We've got a 1955 Ferrari 250 Europa GT Alloy Coupe by Pininfarina, a premium listing out of Waltham, Massachusetts, a one of two car in a series of 43, but these two are super, super unique. The last one sold at auction a couple of years ago for $2.2 million, and this car is the superior example of those two. JP, our friends at Classic.com tell us that a Europa GT is only a $1.7 million car. I bid with basically an almanac saying that this car should be at least $2.9 million or more. My bid coming in at $2.9,250,000. I didn't really think it would get into that range based on the presentation and the fact that these types of vehicles don't typically transact here. And my suspicion was that he was only trying to get the phone to ring and he didn't care if it no-sailed. JP, you took the under at $2.2 million. And Thomas Hundle, who joined us as third nerd out of Canada, his bid basically right in between us at 2.5. Mike Myers, what did you think of the car and what was your bid on it from the last show?
I mean, I think it's unbelievable. I know nothing really about them, but from hearing what you said about it tonight and then what you guys talked about the first night, I was sort of surprised that this is on this platform, that it's not at Pebble Beach or Amelia Island. But interesting, they just maybe just want to get a phone call, so they don't care if it's sold. So I'll say $2 million. $2
million. All right, and that's not a bad bid. Our car hammered for just $1,599,000 even, where it failed to sell on 87 bids. So we had two guys that were bidding on it, but JP, despite their action of going back and forth at like $1,000 or $3,000 per elevation of the bids, we were in the mid 1.5 range, and that to me is only half the potential value of this car. For all I know, JP, this could be a $3.5 or $4 or even $5 million Ferrari. I don't know this market well enough to kind of gauge the true value here, but this car, apparently there's one other one that's built like it, but essentially it's peerless. So did he piss in the wind? I don't think so. I think guys like this just know what they're doing, and I just feel like this was an exercise to bring this car to market, to let everybody know he has it and it's available, and he'll negotiate from there. But if I'm the guy that's buying it, JP, this is sacrilege. I don't want to buy a $3 million, over market value for the Europa or the Europa GT. If I go 3.5 or 3.25, I'm way over market on the model for this car because it was special. But then this car has a no sale on the biggest auction platform in the world at 1.6. I'm pissed. So I disagree with Steve's methodology here. I don't know the guy, but if we ever sat down and had an espresso together, I would absolutely sort of challenge him with this question, be like, what's the thinking behind that? Because I know a lot of guys that transact cars of this special nature want a private sale where the car has never been revealed publicly, not even through brokers who will go and ring everybody's door and say, hey, Steve's selling a Ferrari. So I just disagree with this. I think this is, even if he sells the car, the guy who owns it, I think, has bought a car with a scarlet letter to a degree. JP, anything to make of it?
Well, I mean, that's kind of why I called the guy an asshole on the show. And I'm doing it again. I'm looking right at the camera. Bro, you're kind of an asshole, all right? It's you. Not only have you burned the car with an FTS, which is just stupid. Why would you do that to such a beautiful thing? You've presented it in a way that's going to last. This car in the future is going to get sold again at some point. It might be this spring. It might be 10 years from now. But people are going to look up this car, and they're going to see this car on this listing presented like someone just didn't give a rat's ass. And let's be honest, fine. You want an inexpensive way to expose the car. Fine, great. At least do us a service, because ultimately BAT is an entertainment platform, right? Mm-hmm. Lots of people are watching this channel.
It's a dating site.
Right. I mean, it's like, most of the people on here aren't going to be the people that are going to bid on this car, but we're all going on here and we're checking things out. You are sucking the air out of the room for other listings. You're taking a spot that some legitimate seller could have had. All right. You're wasting people's time, the bidder's time. You're wasting people who are looking on the site's time, where here's this amazing car and you couldn't even, how much did you spend on that stupid goddamn Austin Powers pinball boomer machine in the background, right? You probably spent thousands of dollars on that stupid thing, and you couldn't spring for a photographer to come out and make this car look beautiful so that at least us plebs could at least see this beautiful car, and maybe you would have had a chance to actually sell it for what it's really worth. I think you're a jerk. The funniest thing about this whole story is that apparently our fantastic intern had the guy lined up to be a guest on the show tonight. I didn't know, and I was calling him an asshole on the show. So maybe if I hadn't have called him an asshole on the show, he'd be here to explain what his thinking was, and maybe it's something we're just not thinking of, and maybe he can maybe he can explain it all away. I would still like to have him on the show. I'm sure he's probably a really swell fellow. He's probably a really nice guy. But a lot of times guys like this just don't realize when they're being assholes. And we see that in a certain age demographic more and more often, especially with cars like this. So I feel like he wasted all of our time. You get the last word, Deeb.
JP, the guy who taught me the car business, Joe Laskowski, God rest his soul, one of the first lessons he had, because I was trying to skip ahead in the process. There's all these things they call the road to the sale. And to give me context as a newbie in the car business at a Mercedes dealership, yeah, I started there. He said there's only one way the oats go through the horse. And so this guy doing this as an exercise or as a marketing gimmick or whatever, I think he's burnt his clients. I think he burnt the car, and you just can't mess with the process. These things are process driven, and this guy tried to skirt that, and I feel like it's blown up in his face. So I wish him luck. It'll be interesting, JP, if we see this car at Barrett-Jackson, at Amelia Island. I think people will be very leery of this car publicly because of this poor result and poor presentation, as you so aptly framed for us. So it'll be very interesting to watch this car.
I did want to give you the last word, but I'm going to give the last word to Shiny Fenders in the Nerd Herd. He brings up a great point. It's like having a bad Carfax, right? It's like having a ding it's not like having a theft recovery or a crash or something like that, a salvage. But this is it's like having a bad mark on the Carfax. Now it's something you got to explain. Thanks a lot, dude, for whoever the future owner of this car is now going to have to deal with your stupidity. Way to go. All right, we're moving on. What's the next car on the list? What do you guys think of that Ferrari? Let's go. What do we got?
All right, JP, we got a 2017 Ford Mustang Shelby GT350R running on Bring a Trailer with just 4,700 miles from new, out there in Scottsdale, Arizona, with our good friends Matt Crandall and the fine folks at Avant Garde. You know them as 911R on Bring a Trailer. So obviously one of the top 2 or 3 power sellers on BAT. They've got this fine photography and this super cool Mustang that somehow somebody resisted the temptation to actually go out and drive. Could have been at the track with Budda all weekend. Hello. Yeah. Anyway, this car survived the track weekend by not being there and did not get any miles on the odometer. So we got a 2017 JP, and that's interesting. Let's keep in mind that it's a 17. When we look at the GT350R, they made it for a handful of years. So the total average for all the GT350Rs for the model is $87,000. But if we look specifically at 17s, which are the oldest from that handful of years of production, the average in the secondary market is only $74,000, a difference of $13,000. JP, that being said, I thought this early car with low miles and a decent colorway would still ring the bell at $84,700. JP, you then took the over at $87,350. And Thomas Hundle, who joined us as third nerd from the fine place that makes Molson beer and maple syrup, he was third nerd, and he chimed in at $78,350. Budda, we know you watched the last show, like you watch every show because you're family. You're not, I don't think you actually have a choice anymore. But what was your bid? Do you remember what you were kicking around in your head when you saw this awesome GT350R with no miles on it?
I was lower. I remember just sort of Googling what the MSRP knew, and these things were like 70 grand new. So I figured sort of go for 70 grand.
70 grand. And it'd be interesting. I think essentially Thomas is a bit closer to you because our car hammered for just $75,000 where it sold on 25 bids. So JP, I really did just get this one wrong. I mean, I was off by basically 10 grand. I honestly thought this car would get into the low 80s easily because of the odometer. But the reality is they built them for a number of years. And despite being an R, not the regular GT350, there's plenty of them out there. Then when you factor in all the other GT350s, it's like they diluted their own brand. I'm going to go ahead and say it. JP, there's not enough stuff on the R to make it so much more special that it would be theoretically worth twice as much as the regular one. It's only like 10% better, but we're supposed to pay 100% more money for it. And so that's essentially what happened here. This car only rang the bell at 75 grand, and the owner was willing to let it go at that number while paying a commission to whatever 911R charges. So, you know, his take on this car, JP, might only be $68,000 if we, you know, step back and look at the whole, you know, the whole macro. So there you go, JP. 75 grand. What do you unpack from that result?
Yeah, great car. I think these are going to kind of hold their value. They're not going to appreciate unless it's like maybe a delivery mile one or something like that. But you got to compare this car to just about anything else for $60,000, $70,000. What do you get that's this good? I'm not a huge Mustang fan, but I like what I said on the last episode. It's my own snobbery that's kept me away from enjoying something like this because I mean you got to get into a GT3 in the Porsche world to get this kind of performance, and that's definitely going to cost you twice as much as this car, if not more. And is it as reliable? I don't know, probably not. I know Budda likes to rent Mustangs and take them to track days. Shout out to Shiny Fenders, who got a Yahtzee on this one. So good job. You get it cozy.
Hey, good job.
All right. Budda, you still renting Mustangs and taking them to the track?
No, I bought my Toyota GR86 probably like a couple years ago, 2022. So that I've been doing that. I just had stopped tracking my 996, and then just until I found my new track toy just would go down to Hertz and rent a Mustang and take it down to the racetrack. People would say, I can't believe they let you do that. I was like, well, I didn't tell them.
I was like, hey,
exactly.
Going over to Spring Mountain, meet me over there. I'll bring you a taco for Maria's. All right, let's move on, guys.
With your helmet.
Yeah. Speaking of track cars, huh?
Yeah, how does that go, JP? It's easier to ask for forgiveness and permission, right?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, speaking of track cars, this next one is definitely one you want to get out there behind the wheel and get on the track. What are we talking about, Deeb?
All right, JP, if you want to be the pace car for the Indy 500 back in whatever year it was, 1990, you could have gone down to the Chevy dealership and bought yourself a 1990 Chevrolet Beretta GT Indy Pace Car Edition with a 5-speed manual transmission at just 16,000 miles from new. This car is pristine. Look at it. And it's running no reserve out of West Jordan, Utah on Bring a Trailer. JP, these cars were total pieces of you-know-what. I didn't even know they made them with a manual transmission because nobody in the Bay Area when I was growing up had a car like this. I mean, you just could not find a domestic car in the Bay Area to save your life. And if you did, it was probably like a leftover Taurus or something, but it wasn't an Indy pace car. I didn't even know this car existed until I stumbled across this listing. Most of them have automatics, but nobody cares. JP, our friends at Classic.com tell us that the average selling price for one of these pieces of cheese in the secondary market is $15,000, and that includes all the automatics. I thought this car with a manual might bring a few grand more. My bid, $17,074, as 1990 was the 74th run-in of the Indianapolis 500. JP, you went with the classic average at $15,000, and Thomas Hundle from Canada took the under at $14,750. Budda, what's your bid?
I just want to quickly comment. Deeb, you said where you grew up, no one had these. Where I grew up in rural South Carolina, there were a lot of Berettas. And
never saw Beretta.
Amish had their share of Berettas.
If you're embarrassed of the music that you listened to back then, I actually thought there was this guy in our neighborhood. I was like, that guy's a badass. He had a Beretta with like a red stripe, and I was like, man. I also think it's funny how people you see that with these Indy pace cars that think their car like, it was at the Indy race and it led racing.
I told you guys it was a track car.
It was a decal package that the dealers put on. Anyhow, $15,000. I mean, this just because it's in good shape, but
yeah. Well, we're all gonna share a plate of crow. This car sold for $20,000 even on 19 bids. JP, congratulations to the seller. He got all the money for it. My question to you, John, is it well bought? Is that car going anywhere financially?
$20,000. I guess that's the new number to be ironic, right? That's got to be the most anyone's ever paid to buy something just purely to laugh at. Look, this is appropriately colored. It's bright yellow because you're not even going to have the first lap of the Indy 500. You're going to get out there, and this Beretta is going to be leading the pack, waiting to hit that checkered flag. But instead of the checkered flag, all the cars are going to have to pull off the side because this thing's going to have an oil slick down the track. I mean, these are such piles of crap.
Is it even a V6 or is it a 4-cylinder?
It is. V6 front-wheel drive.
Torque steer all day until it breaks. All right, who cares? Let us know what you think of the Beretta. All right, final thought, and we're moving on.
Budda's a track guy. Budda, at the Indy 500 1990, that car can't drive around the track fast enough for the Indy cars to warm up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it's so slow.
They have to. It would just.
Or it'll just break down before it gets there.
Up their tunnels. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we've got new predictions right after this. Hey guys, you're probably looking at your watch and wondering if Bid Nerds will ever end. So you better talk to our friends at Our Smiths to make sure your Rolex, Tag Heuer, AP, or any fine timepiece is in tip-top shape. Our Smiths, fine Swiss repair. All right, we are back, guys. Just as a reminder, all of the cars that we're going to make predictions on are in the description. The links to all of these listings are they're all down in the description down below this video. So if I'm clicking through the pictures too quickly, if you're like one of those guys that watches the show, he's clicking through the pictures too fast, I can't see if it has yellow stripes on the seats of that Beretta. Just shut the F up and just click on it and look at the pictures at your own pace. Yeah, go ahead.
We don't have time for a story, but I'm going to tell you one anyways. So I'm standing there greeting everybody at Cars Un Cafe this morning in Mill Valley, and this really nice guy pulls up in an Audi TT RS, and I say, "What's up?" And he starts laughing, and he goes, "Man, you're flipping through the photos so fast." And JB, I honestly didn't know what he was talking about. And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I'm watching you on Binders." And he goes, "You guys are flipping through the photos too fast." I was like, "Oh, he got me so good." I was cracking up so hard. I was like, "No way." It's too funny. He started laughing and parked his car. But that's what this has become. That people are talking, JP. You got to slow down, man.
Most common comments in the chat, not in the chat, but in the comments below the videos after the videos live. Slow down with the pictures. Look, the links down below. Look at the pictures.
Hilarious,
pace, man. All right, you want to see them on a big screen anyway. Listen, it's time to crack open a can of Hippie Sips. This stuff, whatever the hell is in here, there's a little THC in here, but all kinds of other organic good stuff. This stuff will definitely help with your bidding. I don't know what's in here exactly, but whenever I drink one of these, I am way better at bidding. Check out hippiesips.com if you guys haven't just go to the website. Go to hippiesips.com. Someone sent us a picture. Gosh darn it, I should have had that ready. Someone DM'd me a picture on Instagram of a can of Hippie Sips on the dashboard of their car. So thanks for getting yourself a can of Hippie Sips. I think it's legal to have it on the dash of your car. I don't know if it's legal to open it, but check your local listings. You may or may not be able to have Hippie Sips in your state, but if you are, you definitely want to try it. Really good stuff. All right. Again, I'm just going to plug because Christmas is coming up and it's Black Friday weekend. Another link that's in the description below is for our merch site on the Air and Water Design page. Look, everything is BOGO tonight. Buy one, get one. Buy one, get one free. If you want one flask, you can buy one and boom, you get a second one for nothing. You don't have to pay nothing. You get two flasks. That means you can get one for your uncle who's a drunk and he needs to have bid nerds, and then you get a flask and you too can be like your uncle. That's great. That's the way you want to be at the holidays. So go over. Look, I love you guys. I love you guys and the nerds, but you guys got to buy some merch. You got to support the show. Buy some merch. Now's the time to do it. Buy one, get one right now. And we're going to run this through the week, I think. So this should be going till... We'll probably run it to the end of next week. Yeah, call it Cyber Week.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get to the predictions. We've been long on our reconciliation, so we got to rock. What's the first car on the list?
All right, JP, I don't know if you noticed, but Bring a Trailer currently is running a moss green metallic 1991 Porsche 911 Carrera 4 Targa. Interesting thing about this listing, JP, we've got a manual transmission Targa, which is not always a given. We've got 185,000 miles on the odometer, which is a lot. And we've got a really rare shade in moss green metallic paint. And yet, JP, with 3 days to go, this car is already clocking $76,000. Are we going to see a $100,000 964 Targa with nearly 200,000 miles on the odometer? That is what drew me to this particular listing. JP, I love the color of this car. I love the car itself. Lucas tells us that they've gone through and rebuilt the transmission on this car. And then I think they did a clutch while they were in there. I can't remember if they did the top end or not. But here we go. You know, the car's got some aftermarket suspension, aftermarket Pfister exhaust. It's got RH wheels, which are basically an inexpensive knockoff of the Speedline wheels that would have come on an RSR, I think, or the 964 Turbo 3.6. Those Speedline wheels, JP, are beautiful wheels, and they're 18-inch. What I don't like about the RH versions are that the knockoffs are only 17-inch wheels. So whenever I see this shape on the car in the wrong diameter, because I just spend so much damn time looking at Porsches for my job, the car looks awkward to me. So it's kind of a bummer. They should be cool wheels, but they're not to me. I might be the only guy that would nitpick that far. But JP, what do we think? 185,000 miles. We got 3 days to go, and we're almost at 80 grand. Is this car that you could have picked up a few years ago for 80 grand or 76 grand? Or when they started
40.
to get expensive, they were 120. Yeah. Now we're looking at a 200,000 miler that's going to be damn near ticking $100,000 because of the color, because of the Targa bar. Holy moly, JP, what is going on outside our doors? Take it away, my friend. Why should somebody buy this car? Why shouldn't they buy it?
We spent a lot of time, or rather, I spent a lot of time on that Europa listing on the last episode, talking about how much of an asshole the seller was. And I'm wondering if before I say this, Lucas, I know you're watching. That's our bid turn. Is the seller of this car going to be on the next episode? Is he scheduled to be a guest? He is. Tell me he is.
Just pretend like he is.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, you're an asshole, dude. Whoever's selling this car, I suspect might be an asshole, because this car, as gorgeous as it is, I'm picking up some serious flipper bro vibes here, because yes, it's beautiful, but 185,000 miles, no record of a top end rebuild. Right? There's no record of any engine rebuilds. All the service has been done quite a while ago, and there's service records that go back to, call it like 98, and there's no mention of an engine rebuild. So we know that this transmission was rebuilt, and we know that the AC pump was replaced at some point, but we have no idea what's going on with the engine. Okay, fine, whatever. 185,000 miles. It's possible, if not probable, that the top end has probably been done on this car, or at least a reseal or something like that at some point. But there's no startup video on this listing. There's no walk around video. There's no driving video. Everything about this screams flipper dude who is unlike Deeb. You want to hop in there? Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to just quote the guy so you know who you're talking to, JP. Somebody says, hey, I really like the car. It's awesome. It's rare. But why are you selling so quickly after getting on it and you worked so hard on it? Like, why are you selling it so quickly? His response to Von Meck, the Rare Works, the seller, he goes, I go through cars fairly quickly, I buy and sort them the way I like and typically move on to the next, period. I have a 92 Ruby Stone red slick top Mizwa C2 on a boat from Japan coming to LA port, which is next for me, period. That is exactly what JP is suspecting. That confirms it.
Look, our friend Doty up in Monterey, you guys know him. He's got a big reputation. Doty, so he goes around Ollie's the son. So Ollie goes around and buys barn find, 911s from kind of uneducated or unsuspecting boomers that really don't know the values of their cars. That's kind of his shtick, but at least he's transparent about it, right? He goes out there, here's what I'm doing. I'm going out and buying these cars, and you kind of know what you're getting into. We have no idea where this car came from. We really don't know what the hell the history on this thing is. And unlike Ollie, Ollie will show startup videos and driving videos and all that kind of stuff. This guy, everything, it's just a cloud of mystery and some really shiny, beautiful looking pictures. And we always say that assets sell cars. Assets are going to get someone's ass into a deal that I'm afraid is not going to be worth it. What do we actually, Budda, what do you think of the car before we get to bids?
Love the color, great stance. Love the exterior color. Do not like the interior color. And yeah, as I'm reading through, like as JP mentioned, he's very much bragging on the service he's done and just like not even addressing,
which is not the service anybody wants. Really, oh, whoopity do! Exactly. You replace the steering or the door handle bearing or something like that, or what? It's like you lubed the gear shift lever. F off, dude! What the hell? Nobody cares. I mean, you look at the bottom of the engine and it's clean, but there's only a picture of it. You could have cleaned it, taken the picture, driven it 2 miles, and it could be covered with oil again. We don't know. and maybe it is fine, but what the F, dude? Give us some clues. Show us a startup video. How hard is that? Give us a cold start video. Give us a driving video. Doesn't have to be high quality. All right, what's it gonna bring? Despite all the questions and all the kind of, this car is kind of sus in my opinion. What's it gonna bring, Deeb?
Right. All right, JP. So according to our friends at Classic.com, the average selling price of a C4 Targa from the 964 variety is still an $88,000 car on average in the secondary market. Our car, showing 185,000 miles on Bring a Trailer, has 3 days to go until it closes at Hammer. At the moment, JP, the car is currently sitting at $76,000 by way of 10 bids. John, despite the sus, I still think people are falling for the photos and the color, and they're going to step on their Johnsons all the way up to $91,100. Do you see what I did there, Budda? So JP, it's at 76. I'm going 91.1 to you. 91100. JP, what's your bid?
Yeah, 91.1, tack $40,000 on top of that. So you're really paying $130,000 for this car because you're going to have to spend $40,000 on rebuilding this engine, and you're not going to have the car for at least 3 or 4 months. It takes forever to get one of these rebuilt. Just know that that's in your future. It's either going to be right after you get it or soon, because these are great engines, but they don't go 250,000 miles without a rebuild. What were you going to say, Deeb?
I was going to ask you, JP, if somebody does that, let's just say they pay 90 for the car, 40 for the rebuild, they're in at 130. Is the car worth 130?
Well, that's why I bring it up, and that's how I'm calculating my number. It's like, okay, I do think I think in the rare colorway, I do think it's $130,000, $140,000 car. So I do think that this car is going to come very close to breaking $100,000, but I think the 185,000 mile odometer is going to hold it back from getting 6 figures. So I'm going to. Your number was what, 91?
91.1.
Yeah, I'm going to go 96,400 bucks and hand it off to Budda. What do you think?
Taking the under at 88,000.
Oh, smart man.
Hippie Sips. Hippie Sips, he probably took a crack at it, and he's probably going to be right. All right, what do you guys think the high mileage sus 964 will bring? Let us know in the comments. And what's the next car on the list, Deeb?
All right, JP, we are going to look at a 2012 Audi R8 V10 coupe with a 6-speed manual transmission and just 25,000 miles on the odometer. JP, over the course of this year, we covered a handful of R8s, and more than one of them were V10s with gated manuals. I have to say, JP, despite these cars going up in value, I still think they are one of the best sort of like real driving car value out there. I mean, if you want to run with your friends in a mid-engine Ferrari or a Porsche GT car, but you don't have $250,000 to $450,000 to park your ass in a supercar, for about $150,000 to $180,000, you can get yourself basically, a Lamborghini in a nicer suit that they call an Audi R8 V10 with a 6-speed manual transmission. JP, I really dig this car. We've taken a closer look at it before. This one ticks all the boxes for me. It's got fair mileage, not collector miles, but not all used up. I like the Ibis white paint. I like these wheels. I like the brakes and that gated manual with a Lamborghini derived 520 or something 50 horsepower V10. This is a hell of a car. And I just wonder how this one's going to do. I really thought a car like this might be approaching $200,000, but here we are late in the year, and I don't know if this one's quite got the legs to get to that number. So, JP, I send it over to you. The V8s are an even better argument for everything I just said. You can pick up a nice V8 gated manual R8 for $60,000 to $75,000. That's the real value, but this is a true supercar, JP. This is a damn Lamborghini with an Audi business suit on. I like this car. What are your feelings on it? In general, you're not an Audi guy, but I imagine this car would get your attention. You did own an R8 V10 and loved it, and it didn't even have the stick. So what do you like about this one?
These are great. And this one's had all the right service too. Had the mag ride done, had the air conditioning upgraded. Some of the things that typically go wrong with these have been sorted. This car is a well sorted out version of the R8. And, you know, it's the best. I think this is the best supercar buck you can possibly get out there. And I think this car is going to do well. Budda, what do you think of these?
I think this seller's an asshole. I'm just kidding.
Let's hear it. Well, he is. You know what? You know why? You know why? Because there's only 50 pictures of this car. This has got to be the fewest assets we've ever seen. It does have some videos, which is great. But there are very few pictures on this thing.
JP, the second photo. Yeah. The second photo in the listing. Sorry, the third photo in the listing, not the bucket. But in the listing is this car in front of a dumpster. I swear to God, we're not on Cars
love the dumpster.
It is.
Yeah.
Two dumpsters.
God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
All right. What's he going to bring, Deeb?
Yeah. All right. So, JP, our car is currently sitting at $100,000, and it's got 2 days to go until it closes at Hammer. That comes to us by way of just 5 bids. There is a minor incident as described by Carfax on the Carfax report, minor incident. That to me is just going to, I think, part of the reason why this car is not pushing. No, there's another photo with a blue dumpster going the other direction. But anyway, this car, I think this car would have been $180,000 or more if it had a clean Carfax. But I think the Carfax is going to hold it back some. I do.
This is the first gen. What? Sorry, go ahead. 180? Yeah. So, I'm sorry. Usually I got to let you. 180? Okay, go ahead. Continue. Because that's.
Yeah. If it had a clean Carfax because of the fair odometer and the V10 and the manual, these cars have been pushing.
This is a first gen, Deeb. It's not a second gen.
I know, but these cars have been pushing towards 200 grand. I think this car at 100, JP, I think is going to hammer for 150. JP, our friends at Classic.com tell us that they bring $113,000 on average in the secondary market, and that includes the majority of them that have the single manual gearbox, the flappy pedal thing. So there's no denotation for the you can't denote the manuals in Classics data. So I think this car will go to 150, JP, and the reason why it won't bring more is because of the Carfax. These things bring real money.
Yeah, they're not bringing $180,000 even with manuals. I don't know where the second gen ones don't have manuals, but they are bringing 180 to maybe 200. But an R8 for 200 grand even with a manual, maybe if it had 4 miles on it. But I don't know where the hell you're getting that figure from. But that's okay. That's all right. What's that? Yeah, I mean,
Robert Downey Jr. owned it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so look, this is a beautiful car. It is awesome that it has the stick. I think if this car does well, if it gets that $150,000, even $140,000, I think we're going to see the Tiptronic ones, or I guess they call it the R-Tronic. I think we're going to see the values of those really go up because these are very easy to manual swap. Unlike the Ferrari F1 transmissions that people are getting into and swapping, those require an actual transmission swap. Whereas this particular, on the R8s, if you have an R-Tronic, you don't have to replace the transmission at all. All you got to do is remove the actuator and add a third pedal. Friend of the show, Andy Stahl, has one, and he did it, and it's fantastic because the R-Tronics are manual transmissions. They just, all it is a little gizmo that's actually doing the shifting for you. So, yeah, I'm going to say, where's it at right now, Deeb? I'm sorry. I missed that.
It's at 100 even with 2 days to go.
2 days to go. Yeah, I'll go 140, and I think that's crazy high. What do you think, Budda?
I'm going to continue my thing of going low and park it under you at 135.
There we go. All right.
Nice. And Deeb, you were at what?
I was at 150 even.
150 even. Okay. What do you guys think?
Right.
Do you guys are R8s going for $180,000? Let us know what you guys think. Let us know in the comments. This is a nice one. What's the next car on the list, Michael Deeb?
All right, JP, I picked this car for you. It's a 2008 Porsche Cayenne GTS 6-speed manual. But wait, there's more. It's got PDCC. JP, this is your SUV.
Speed round, Deeb. Speed round. Let's get to the stats and get to the numbers. What's it going to bring?
68,000 miles on the odometer on BAT as an alumni listing. Back in January of 2022, the car brought $58,500. It comes back to market. It closes in 3 days. It's sitting at $35,000. The classic average for these cars is only 26. I think it's going to bring, I'm going to go $44,000 at Hammer and say that it sells. JP, 44,000 to you. It's at 26 right now.
Black on black PDCC, that gizmo makes this thing, otherworldly and low miles and 3 pedals. I think it's going to be well into the 50s. I'm going to go 57, 57,958 and hand it off to Budda. What do you think?
I'll go 59. It gets a little better than he bought.
Damn it,
for.
That's a good bid. This one might break 60. All right, let us know what you guys think. I'd love to talk about that thing more, but we're running out of time. What's the next car on the list? Let's do these next 2 speed round. What do we got?
All right, JP, there is a 2009 BMW M5 with the Dinan S1 package and a 6-speed manual transmission. So you got a tune, you got exhaust, you got suspension. The car's got 72,000 miles. This is a stunning 5-liter V10 with like 530 horsepower and 400 pound-foot of torque and 3 pedals. JP, Classic.com tells us the average selling price of an M5 is just $36,000 in the secondary market. That number is $8,000 higher with the manual transmission. So in other words, the manual transmission, the non-manual cars are $24,000 or $28,000 or something like that. JP, this car is currently sitting at $25,869 grand. I think it's going to hammer for $40,000 even and prove to be an incredible value, especially when compared to that Audi R8. So where are you at, JP, on the V10 BMW? I don't think you like these cars.
Yeah, I just couldn't care less. The undeniable performance, just absolutely fantastic cars, but they just don't do anything for me. I think it's gonna is it gonna break 40? I'll go $39,005 and hand it to Budda. What do you think?
Yeah, I think this guy's repair bills will match that guy Nick's on his Bentley. So I'll say 32 grand.
Wow. Okay.
32.
All right.
All right. One more car, JP.
Last car.
There's a 1977 Porsche 911 Coupe that has been a race car, and it's currently listed as a featured listing on Cars and Bids. JP, this 77 looks like an RSR Frankenstein car. It's got wings and body flares and all kinds of stuff. It looks more like a 993 than a 1977. The big news here is a built 3.8-liter flat 6, and then every known speed racing gizmo, suspension and roll bars and transmission and brakes and the whole thing. This car must race in an unlimited category because this is not what the car would have looked like in 1977. The big news here, JP, is whether or not Doug DeMiro can sell a very specialized air-cooled Porsche race car. I'm guessing that he can't, but the bids tell a different story. JP, our friends at Classic.com tell us that the average selling price of a mid-year race car is $89,000. They have a category for that. Our car is currently sitting at $125,000 on 35 bids on Cars and Bids, and it closes tomorrow. JP, I think it's got another 10 grand in it, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think this car is going to hammer for $135,000. And at $135,000, JP, this car should sell. Where you at?
Where's it at right now? What?
125.
Yeah, I mean, this car was built oddly. I mean, it's got really expensive bits, and I can see why people are bidding on it. But I mean, it's too pretty to be a track demon. It was built too pretty to be a track demon. I don't like the sensibilities, and when I say it's built too pretty, I mean, you know, a lot of attention to paint and all the details and stuff like that, but the sensibilities are way out of style here. This car can't pick a lane, and do you really want to spend all that kind of money on a car for the track that you're going to beat up, yet the paint's perfect? Where's this guy's head? He should have built this as a street car, and this could be a $200-something car. So I'm going to say it gets $5,000 more. So whatever it's at, it gets $5,000 more. Budda, what do you think?
130 for JP.
I'm going to go park it just right above him, 132.
Okay.
Smart bid. All right, guys. It is.
There we go.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for hanging out on a Sunday night with us. Make sure you go over and buy some merch. Remember, we've got BOGO. The link to our merch page is in the description below at aaronwaterdesign.com/collections. But the link's down there. BOGO, buy one, get one free, and 40% off all of our limited edition Derfascination posters. Thank you guys. Deeb, what did you want to say before we get out of here?
That's it. Bid Nerds will have a Range Rover coming to market very soon. If you haven't already, go on to Bring a Trailer and follow the Bid Nerds listing page so that when these cars that we've got coming down the pike roll out, you'll be the first to know.
That is right. Happy ending for every auction. Budda, thanks for hanging out with us Sunday night.
Yeah,
all right, guys, we're out of here. Bye.